So, good afternoon, entrepreneurs and friends, and thank you very much for being here today to allow me to share the story of the last mile. I did want to backtrack just slightly for those of you who are here to see the John Legend presentation. And when you saw the spoken word poetry piece live, well, actually, it was a live video that was recorded at San Quentin about 10 days ago. JC is an alumni of our founding program at San Quentin, so he is a last mile grad. And we are talking about dreams at TED, and this was a dream come true. And I'll tell you more about that in the Q&A, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was so inspiring and meaningful for us and a tremendous accomplishment. So, in 2010, 6 years ago, Chris was invited to speak about entrepreneurship and business at San Quentin, and Chris Redlitz is my husband and business partner of many years. And at the time, we had a technology accelerator in San Francisco called Kick Labs, which was the home to about 14 startup companies. Zem's company was there too, EcoFabulous. And so he came home from giving his talk at San Quentin, and he had this great idea. He told me that he was just so surprised by the talent and the interest of the audience he had there that he thought, well, why don't we start a Kick Labs inside San Quentin? Imagine a technology accelerator in prison. We could do that. My first reaction, I won't share exactly what I said, but in essence, I said, no way. You know, such little free time to begin with. Why would I spend my free time in prison? But he pitched me with so much passion, as an entrepreneur would, that I decided to think about it and do some research. And when I learned some of these facts, I was astonished. So some of these are a repeat of what you heard this morning from John Legend and others, but you know, in the US, we have 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's incarcerated population, 10% of which is in California. And we spend $60,000 a year, and even more, to keep an inmate in prison. $60,000 a year to keep an inmate in prison. That's 5 times more than what we spend for higher education. And if that's not bad enough, recidivism exceeds 60%. Very bad investment. So, if that didn't get you, how about this? Within 1 year, 75% of the formerly incarcerated are unemployed. 75% are unemployed. Well, then it's no mystery why recidivism is so high. This is a huge problem. So after realizing what a huge problem we have in our society, and going with Chris to San Quentin, and meeting some of the men that he spoke with that night, I agreed to join him as co-founder of The Last Mile. And we set out to teach marketable skills that could result in gainful employment, because we believe that having a job is the key to successful reentry and breaking the cycle of incarceration. Imagine if we reduce recidivism and we can take that money and spend it on education and perhaps give kids a chance by giving them better education and helping to break that generational cycle of incarceration. So that was our goal. So we started the Last Mile program to teach business and entrepreneurship at San Quentin. And we were able to start this program and have the participants actually be active in social media. We taught them how to write a business plan about a passion business. they were able to interact with CEOs of startup companies from Silicon Valley and ultimately pitch their idea to a live audience of over 300 people at Demo Day. Imagine that at San Quentin State Prison. But there were tons of obstacles we had to overcome. First of which was no internet access. We're teaching about social media and how to be relevant in business today and what businesses in Silicon Valley and startups need to do. No access to research other than volunteers bringing it in, no internet access. And many were incarcerated before the web even existed. But with perseverance and persistence, we were able to overcome these and many more obstacles. And we are proud to say that we have had 4 graduating classes with over 50 participants at San Quentin. Thank you. But wait, there's more. 2 years ago, we started the first computer coding program inside a U.S. prison. Now remember, I told you there's no internet access. So we're going to teach coding. We said we're going to teach coding, but we're going to do it without connectivity. Software engineering jobs are at a premium, and if you remember, our goal is to teach marketable skills that result in gainful employment. So what could be better than teaching computer coding when in fact there'll be 1 million unfilled jobs predicted? It's predicted that there'll be 1 million unfilled jobs by 2020. So here we introduced this program, and many of the people who were going to participate had never touched a keyboard or been on a computer. And it was another obstacle to overcome. Didn't stop us. We have had 3 cohorts. We are actually in session on our 3rd cohort now at San Quentin. And the men are learning JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Python, front-end skills, and we'll soon we'll be adding some design and QA and data visualization courses. Because those type of skills and software engineers are judged by the quality of their work, not the stigma of their past. Not for me. So, the 3rd cohort just began. We have our proof of concept. And now, with innovation grant funding from CDCR, we are going to be able to launch our program in 3 more facilities this year, including the first women's prison in Folsom, California. And I am very excited about that. Thank you. And later this month, we are going to launch a joint venture development business in San Quentin where successful graduates of our coding program will have the opportunity to actually work as software engineers providing services for private companies, earning a salary well beyond a prison wage, and be able to walk to freedom to re-enter society with savings that is far beyond the mere $200 gate money issued by the state. For the first 2 years, Chris and I taught the Last Mile program twice a week at night by ourselves. And today I am very proud to say that we have 6 on staff as well as 90 volunteers. And afterwards in our Q&A, I can talk more about how perhaps you could get involved. But without any outreach, we've been able to attract the attention of major media companies and business leaders from the Valley. This was a defining moment for our program when, by surprise, Mark Zuckerberg came into our coding program and just had a casual chat with the men. It was, imagine being incarcerated, doing something you're passionate about, and having people on the outside care, just as we did today with JC. So, dreams do come true. We actually have a 225-seat technology accelerator under construction at San Quentin. And we have been working on this now for 6 years, but we're just on the precipice of scale. And we really feel like the best is yet to come. And I could go on and tell you all the great things I've done, but I think that with the help of my team and the support of the community, I'm going to let our results take center stage. So please join me in.
As we mentioned early on about when JC had his original idea, it's about haircuts, right? That's what you know, that's what you feel, that's what you should stick with, and we'll wrap technology around that.
Them just seeing me be successful, knowing I came from the same place they came from, to me gives them a vista into my life and what theirs could be, not unlike what made me successful.
The 10 new TLM graduates.
My name is Chris Fino Kenyal, and I'm the founder and CEO of Coach Potato. What we do is get football fans off the sideline and into the game.
My aspiration for the future, wow. I want to be a good husband, good father, and stand-up guy in my community.
Nine months ago, I was incarcerated here at San Quentin with a sentence of 25 to life. Not 16, 2 or 3, but 25 of them with a kickstand, as y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's no joke. By the grace of God, after 19 years, my sentence was overturned, and I was released in 2013. Throughout my incarceration, I was blessed to meet many people who helped me in one way or another. But it wasn't until I came to San Quentin and immersed myself in the programs here that I really began to make significant changes in my life. I realize there are a lot of those out there who don't believe that prison programs can help change people's lives. But I stand before you today as living proof that they do.
All of us have been knocked off course once, maybe even twice in our lives. Landing at a destination and in a situation, struggling to make sense of how we allowed ourselves to drift so far off course, so far away from our intended purpose.
Peter asked me for you to say your first 5 words.
Thank you, God. It is so good to be free again. That's more than 5.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling right now. Thank you.